Kia ora. I'm Kayla and this is Wandering Māori. Alcohol didn't make me a different person, it just made me less of who I really was. And the version of me that I was trying to hide was actually the best version. So this is my story with alcohol. I started drinking when I was 16 years old, which honestly is not that young. But I really started having problems with alcohol when I went to university when I was 18 years old. I was a young Māori wahine going to university, and Māori are typically a minority in universities. So I felt like I couldn't get the support I needed at uni. This is not an excuse, or I'm not trying to blame anything, but it does factor into why I turned to drinking. I struggled a lot at uni and the stress just got to me. I felt like a complete failure. So I did what a lot of other young people do, and I turned to drinking because I was drowning. I had the wrong friends around me, friends that didn't support me, friends that were also addicted to drugs and alcohol. Felt that I needed to partake in drinking to connect socially and to fit in, because when you're young, it's a really vulnerable period. I feel like young people are really heavily influenced by their peers, and that's exactly what happened to me. I was very heavily influenced because all I really wanted was just to fit in, just to have friends and just to feel cool. So I drank because part of me was trying to please other people around me, and that's where I went wrong. I used it to numb my feelings, I used it as an escape, but the biggest reason was the people pleasing. I saw the effect of alcohol and what it was doing to me at the time, and I went through a bit of a dark space. I went through depression, and I realized I'm going to give it up. So I left my friends, I left alcohol, I gave it up. I went into fitness and I started feeling really good about myself, but there was a time I went back to alcohol, and what happened was I got into a toxic work environment, and the boss was also addicted to alcohol, and the boss would run work dues and we would go and drink, and unfortunately my addiction came back, my addiction to alcohol. I started craving alcohol. I started looking forward to weekends because I just thought my life was so boring that I needed alcohol to fill my life. It was becoming an escape, a sense of false connection, and I went down that road again with alcohol. And then I decided to move to Taranaki. I grew up in Wellington, and as a Māori, I always felt like I didn't really know who my whānau was. I only had my parents and my siblings around. I didn't have this connection with my extended whānau that a lot of Māori have, and so I wanted to find that out. I wanted to address this emptiness I was feeling inside of myself. So I moved to Taranaki and I started a new life there, and it was honestly beautiful. I loved it. I felt connected to the whānau. I met a lot of whānau. I felt connected to the whenua, the land there. But I took alcohol with me. Alcohol became a dominant part of my life. I was drinking nearly every day. It was a crutch. It was a way for me to meet whānau and fit in and be liked. It became like my personality. I felt that if I took alcohol away, no one would like me. I wouldn't get accepted. My personality is no good. Like, it's not enough. So I had this big reliance on alcohol, and I craved it, and I went through this period for a good year. And then I realized that my health, firstly it was my health and my self-confidence, and just my disconnection to myself were the three big things that I noticed from regular alcohol use. And I knew somewhere within me there was that voice telling me that I needed to stop what I was doing. I knew that I was using alcohol as a cover-up for my true identity. I knew that I was using alcohol to people please and to fit in to this new community and into my whānau, and I felt like if I didn't drink that I was being weird, or I was being antisocial, or I wasn't partaking in what everyone else is doing. So I felt like if I didn't do it, I was almost disappointing everyone around me. And so I realized within myself, if I keep doing this, I'm actually going to not only ruin my health and destroy my life, but I'm actually going to lose myself. I'm going to replace my identity with a false identity. So I had to do something. My tupuna, my ancestors, gave me messages, and they told me, why are you doing this? You know who you are. Don't follow everyone else. Just be you. So yeah, I started really listening to my ancestors' guidance, the messages that I was receiving, and I knew I had to listen to them. I knew that I could trust in their advice, because I believe within myself that my tupuna are my support, that they have my genuine interests, my best interests. So I acknowledged it, and I made a vow to myself, to my tupuna, that I wouldn't drink again. And so that's what I did. I moved back to Wellington. I decided I'd never drink again. I started really gaining my sense of self again, my journey back to me, and gaining control over my life. And I started realizing the potential that I had within myself, and my confidence grew. But not only that, my connection to my Māori culture grew drastically. I started feeling more connected to myself than ever before. I want to address something that might be really controversial for a lot of people, or a lot of people might not resonate with. But my main reason for giving up alcohol, and this is my driver that drives me every day, is my reconnection to my Māori culture, is the reason why I am alcohol free. When I started discovering myself as a Māori wahine and started learning more about tikanga and culture and Māori traditions, I realized that alcohol is a big problem in the world, but not only that, it's a big problem in Indigenous cultures. And the reason being is because when we look at history, the colonizers brought alcohol to these Indigenous communities as a way, as a weapon to displace Indigenous people from themselves, from their community and from their culture. And it actually is a weapon to harm Wairua spirit. When I think about things deeply like that in regards to alcohol, being sober it just makes sense. It's so clear why. So for me, it's like being sober is like my mission, it's my purpose, to stand true in my Māori world, in my Māori identity, and to acknowledge my tupuna, my ancestors, to live for them. I'm really proud of my decision. I'm proud of how far I've come, and I'm not here to judge anyone. I'm not here to judge you if you drink or if you have a casual relationship with alcohol. I'm not here to judge you. I'm just here to share my story. I'm just here to share my journey with reconnecting with my Māori culture. And I'm also here to inspire people that may resonate with this journey. Maybe some of you are going through something similar to what I've gone through with addiction and alcohol or drugs, and you are reclaiming your identity. If you are, please share your story down in the comments. I'd love to read them because it really inspires me. All of these things that I've said today are things that I've learned through listening to other people and other Māori and other Indigenous people sharing their stories as well. All this wisdom is from what I've learned and what I've heard from other people, and of course my own tupuna, my ancestors. So thank you for listening, tēnā koe, tēnā koutou, and I'll see you in the next episode. Ka kite.